死なないために死ぬほど準備することなんて絵に秘めあらたことでしょう。光栄だけど買いかぶりっすよ。
Hello guys, it's me Simo Orahara, and in this video we'll talk about the fight that took place between Zero Squad and the Elite Guards. So we'll talk about the fight in all its details as well as what flaws there are in this fight, which many see as one of the biggest bad fights of this arc. And as a big PS, the anime will make some changes to this fight, therefore this video will serve as a raw material for anyone who wants to understand what the fight was like in the manga and what was changed in the anime. And let's start from the Quincy side. One of the good additions made by the studio is that from the beginning of the second invasion, they showed us the member of the Elite Guards, namely Lilibaro, Girard and Pernida. At the time, Askin hadn't joined them, so we saw them on the stage next to Hirschfeld. Therefore, from the beginning, the difference was clear between the Elite Guards and the ordinary STERNRITTER, so that Yhwach preferred not to involve the Elite Guards in any fight during the first or the second invasion, until they fight Zero Squad. While it became clear that most of the STERNRITTER at certain stage of the war, Yhwach will abandon them because they will be unnecessary for the next battle. And it seems that few people knew about this important information. Among them is Robert, who was trying to show Yhwach that he is a capable warrior in the upcoming battles by trying to fight Ichigo as well as Byakuya. While my boy Askin Naklovar, through the war, he was only watching what's going on. And apparently he knows that whatever your achievement in the first or the second invasion, this is not the criterion that will entitle you to ascend with Yhwach to the Royal Palace, but rather the quality of your abilities. Therefore, Askin Naklovar, although he didn't fight in the second invasion, he was chosen in the end to be among the Elite Guards. While there was also another STERNRITTER who ascended, but he wasn't among the Elite, which was Nyanza. Thus, Yhwach ascended to the Royal Palace with the following group: Yuryu, Hirschfeld, then the Elite, Lilibaro, who is its leader and his first person to whom Yhwach gave him a schrift, and it's considered Yhwach's masterpiece. He was followed by Girard and Pernida. Then the new member, Askin Naklovar. While Nyanza was the only STERNRITTER who ascended with Yhwach without being with the Elite, alongside with the Holy Soldiers, and these are like foot soldiers. And on the other hand, it seems that Ichibi Hyoshibi, who is considered the leader of the Shinigami in Zero Squad, as we said previously, and Kyorako confirmed this, he knew that Yhwach didn't care about Tsuruchi at all. We can say that Yhwach cared about it in the first invasion while Yamamoto was alive, and when he went to Aizen to ask him if he wants to join his army. As for the second invasion, Yhwach already knew that the Gochi 13 had become very weak, and therefore he was just waiting for the opportunity to ascend to the Royal Palace. It seems that Ichibi gave him this opportunity willingly, and from what appeared in the manga, it seems that Ichibi wanted to exploit Yhwach's arrival to the Royal Palace to his advantage, meaning that instead of Ichibi seeing Yhwach's arrival at the Royal Palace as a weakness, no, he wanted to exploit the battlefield to his advantage, as long as the Royal Palace already gave him several privileges, and this is what Ichibi did with the rest of the members. Before Yhwach and those with him came, Shinjimaru formed a fake Royal Palace while the real one was hidden by Ichibi using Ichimonji, and in order for the plan to be completed, Hikofune formed the Tree of Life, which functioned like a prison or cage so that no one could get out. As for Kirenji, his role was to lure Yhwach and the rest so that they wouldn't feel that there was anything strange. And when the plan was revealed and Yhwach and those with him are exposed to the factor of surprise, Nimaya will intervene, using Sayafushi to attack and inflict the greatest possible damage on the invaders. So this is how each side was preparing to the fight. But the problem will begin as soon as Yhwach sets foot in the Royal Palace. It is true that everything I mentioned about how the Zero Squad was preparing for the battle are good things, but at the same time they are not everything and will not give us the complete picture about the Zero Squad members, such as their full power, whether in specific abilities they have or the Zanpakuto, and I'm talking here about the Bankai or Kido. And what is more than that is to see a fight where we can see each party use all what they have. So for example, we will see fights of 1 against 1, like Ryu Soldier versus Holy Soldiers of Yhwach, Ichibi versus Yhwach, Jirard versus Nimaya, Lilibaro versus Hikofuni, Shinjimaru versus Pernida, and Asuken versus Kirinji. Thus, each side will fight with its full and complete strength. But Kubo knew that from the storyline perspective he put himself in, he couldn't do that. He couldn't let the Elite Guards put all their cards in that fight. And he still had a group of other characters in the Shinigami side without battles. And I'm talking here about Urahara with the Bankai, Kyoraku with the Bankai, Adult Toshiro, Zaraki with the Bankai, Mayuri with the modified Bankai, and Nemo, Yurichi, Grimijo, and Neil. I'm not speaking about the Vizard. And on top of all of this, you have the Quincy's who have become in the Shinigami side. And they are Bazby, Giselle, Lil Chicho, and we also have Ichigo and Aizen. Which means, if the Zero Squad fights with all its strength and the Elite Guards used all their abilities and their Schrift or even the Volt Sanden, then all the abilities of the Elite Guards will be spoiled, and therefore the upcoming battles will not contain any hype. Therefore, making the Quincy's characters with Yhwach few, and the opposite we have a huge number of characters in the Shinigami side, made Kubo think about sacrificing one side of the story, and unfortunately, they were Squad Zero. Instead of seeing complete battles like the ones I mentioned, we only saw their beginnings. For example, Kirinji, as I said, took advantage of his presence in the Royal Palace and he brought the water that he usually used for treatment and he used it in the attack to attack Yhwach. And then he used the Shikai Kinpaki. But after that, the fight was stopped by the intervention of Nyanzol, whom Shinjimaru intervened by killing him using her needles. And she was also the one who summoned the sacred soldiers of Ryo, and then Pernida intervened and then he defeated him. And that's where her role ended, while Hikofuni didn't have any fight, but her role was to try to imprison Yhwach and those with him inside the Tree of Life. As for Nimaya, well, here we must talk a little bit about what happened between him and the members of the Elite. So, Nimaya, like the rest of the members of their squad, benefited from the fact that Yhwach's attack occurred inside the Royal Palace, because this enabled him to bring Sayafushi. And this sword was a distinguishing mark in the first encounter between Nimaya and the Elite Guards. No one can doubt the power of this sword. Perhaps this is what gave Nimaya complete confidence that he alone is capable of eliminating the Elite. But it can never be said that Sayafushi has a 100% success rate in killing his opponent with one swing, because this depends mainly on the surprise factor and the location of the strike, and also whether the opponent has a specific ability that can stand against his sword. And so this is exactly what happened to the Elite, especially the trio Jirard, Lilibaro and Pernida. The trio entered the battle with great recklessness, especially Jirard, who relied on direct combat. As we noted, he was the first person to jump directly to attack Shutara, and the same thing he did and repeated with Nimaya, except that Nimaya this time was not joking and used Sayafushi, so that one blow to the chest was enough to make Jirard a dead body. And frankly, I don't know how Lilibaro saw his colleague killed in front of him and he still had the audacity to question Sayafushi's ability and say that Nimaya must have used some trick. Therefore, not accepting the idea that there is a sword whose blade is sharp enough to kill, in my opinion, made Lilibaro not take the matter seriously. Therefore, he was defeated in this way. Unlike, for example, Asuken Naklovar, from the beginning he knew that Sayafushi was really dangerous, so he was able to avoid the first strike and even use his ability to overthrow Nimaya, and he was close to do that hadn't it been for Kirinji's intervention. On the other hand, and returning to Lilibaro, what remains to me a mystery is the bullets that Lilibaro used in his attack on Nimaya. Because before his death, Hikofuni said that Lilibaro's bullets were made of reishi, and in this scene this shape appeared that really looked like bullets. However, when the Lilibaro was revived, he activated the ability X-axis, which means penetrating the existence, so that when Lilibaro directs the nozzle of the gun at the target, there will be no barrier that will prevent Lilibaro from hitting the target. So what I can say more about this is that the point that made the matters worse is in this fight in the manga was the use of the Auswärm to revive the Elite Guards and quickly defeat the members of Zero Squad. So we have a chance now that the anime will have some change to fix that fight as much as possible. And this is what will happen in the next 3 episodes. So guys, what do you think about this fight in the manga, and can we see good changes in the anime? Tell me your opinions in the comments and see you guys in my next video.